Here's some free betting advice. Do not put money on Patrick Mahomes as the MVP. Vegas wants people to spend money on this because it's not gonna happen.
So week 8 of the NFL season is already here. Penalties and injuries have plagued this league, but we have had some interesting moments. We got some really cool performances still going on so far. So Lorenzo, I want to break down some sights and sounds from this roundup of games. I want to start off with the early MVP conversation. And 3 guys I really want to specifically talk about: Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, and Lamar Jackson. So let's start with Jared Goff. This guy has clearly been on fire right now. Now, I want to bring up a stat that I want to share with you, which is crazy. So, 22 for 25 in his last game with a passer rating of 140. The list of players who have gone 4 straight games with an 80% completion percentage and passer rating of over 140 since the AFL-NFL merger of 1970, the list includes just this guy. Insane.
He's balling out, and like, it's not just his play that's helping the Lions win. He's making everyone around him better, and the completion percentage really is the thing it's so hard to beat the Lions when they have that going, because that only helps the running game going, and the offensive line is incredible. You have some stats. I wanna.
Let's build on these stats.
I want to bring in some more numbers here. So you said the last 3 games, yeah. His passer rating on the season is 111.5, but Lamar Jackson's is 118. So that's the thing, like, as nice as Jared Goff is playing, I mean, Lamar's just on another level.
I know. I'm glad you brought up Lamar, because I want to show this photo. This dude has a freaking rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And it says, hard to imagine anyone tops Jared Goff's performance this week. You have to consider him the MVP and then he's got the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
Yeah, no, and I think it's absolutely true. I think Lamar right now is the MVP. And I mean, like, again, the Lions have been nice. That's cool. But Jared Goff has 10 total touchdowns this season. Lamar has 17.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Lamar is the 5th ranked passer and the 11th ranked rusher. Like, it's just, his touchdown interception is 15-2. It's just, he is playing so clean. And you look at the Ravens, what they did to the Buccaneers. You look at what they've done pretty much most of the season. They had a couple games early where they were a little shaky, but man, they're just beating the brakes off of people.
What's wild to me is they have 2 MVP candidates on the team, with Derrick Henry being there. This guy is already on track for another 2,000+ yard season. Yeah. He already had one back in 2020, but I want to bring up this tweet. If you ask me, 21 miles per hour on Monday night is not slow. He said, should have scored, shaking my head, slow AF. Do you consider Derrick Henry to be in this MVP candidacy?
Yeah, he's in there. What I don't consider is him slow. I mean, if he's slow, then what am I? Like, right. I mean, come on.
We're turtles.
Yeah, seriously. I get it. Like, a guy like him, he doesn't like to get caught. It's a pride thing. He's also a humble guy, whatever. But
when you compare him to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Derrick Henry has been I think he's the best addition, the best offseason addition in the NFL. It's absurd how much better he makes them. But again, I just go back to it, like, I think of, like, if you take Derrick Henry out of Baltimore versus if you take Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore, what do those versions look like?
I want to bring up the current MVP odds right now, because we got to talk about someone who consistently finds his way into the conversation for MVP, even though, if you ask me, nobody's talking about him being in the MVP race except Vegas. Patrick Mahomes. The guy's thrown an interception in every single game so far this season. He hasn't scored a touchdown in the past 2 games. Why do you think he's so high up on MVP odds? Do you think it's solely because of his success in the past? Do you feel like it's because they're looking ahead with them being undefeated? Where do you think this is coming from?
Yeah, the past performance certainly is a big part of it. He's arguably the face of the league. But here's some free betting advice. Do not put money on Patrick Mahomes as the MVP. Vegas wants people to spend money on this because it's not going to happen. Like, at least, like, right now, it's just so hard to see that path forward. You mentioned some stats. I got some more.
Let's
here.
bring them in.
Mahomes has a 6 to 8 touchdown to interception ratio. Like, he's 2 more interceptions than touchdowns. His passer rating is 82.5, which ranks 23rd in the NFL. And granted, he does make plays to win games. I think I think the thing where the stats falls short in his argument is that when it's a big third down, he'll get a scramble, get a first down. He makes those winning plays, and you can't really necessarily quantify that in the stat sheet sometimes. But that's not enough when you have a player like Lamar, when you have a player like Jared Goff, even Derrick Henry, which I think that's more of a long shot. I think maybe even Josh Allen gets more love right now than Mahomes as an MVP argument.
And speaking of MVP, so 4-time MVP winner Aaron Rodgers, he's going to lead us up into this Jets conversation here. So obviously disappointing loss following the addition of Devontae Adams. They're 2-5 on the season right now, lost the last 3 games. And who does he go to as his number one to blame victim? The media. Love to see it. Here's what he has to say.
How do you get everybody to keep the belief? Right? It seems like a lot of the same mistakes.
Stop listening to you guys. Number one. Number two, got to be accountable. You know, I got to play better. That's the key. I got to play better. Got to find a way to run the ball better so we can action pass. You know, I thought did some nice things in the passing game. Brees obviously had a couple of really nice ones. Spread the ball around to Tay, G, and Allen. And Mike had a nice conversion. But we got to run the ball better, and I got to play better.
What's wild to me is his first thing to go to is stop listening to you guys, but also I need to play better.
It's truly the way you framed it. Well, he's like, yeah, the first thing is this, but then the second thing is we don't run the ball well. I got to play better. I got to stop turning the ball over. Because like the players listening to us, which I don't know that the players really listen to us all that much, to be honest. That is what's making the difference, right?
Because
like,
he runs to the media when it's on his time, but when it's not on his time, it's the media's fault.
But that's why Garrett Wilson had the ball hit his chest, which led to an interception, which changed the game. And that's why the Jets commit so many penalties. It's because they're reading our stories. God, I mean, if we only had that much power.
God, they just need to get their head in the game, but they're too busy reading our stuff. It's been
part of his playbook where he deflects blame. And he doesn't. The thing is, he doesn't need to. Like, they're not playing well. It's clear.
I think the greater question is, do you think their season's over with?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna get to. They're 2-5. I don't think it's over. I mean, it's on life support.
You think they could make it to the playoffs?
So
they have to literally win every game moving forward.
Pretty close, yeah.
Minus like 1 or 2.
Yeah. Let me put it like this: if I had to like put money on this, I don't have them in the playoffs. Do I think it's impossible? No.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.